This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
Welcome to Elder Geeks Elder Speaks. Today is Friday, October 26th, 2012. My name is Randy Asenchak. I'm the editor of ElderGeek.com. Welcome back, everybody. I'm glad to be doing this a second day in a row. I actually just got finished redoing the game club tonight with Super Castlevania 4 with Phil and Steve, so please look forward to that. And earlier tonight, I actually did the voiceovers for our video review for Hell Yeah. So that video review is actually going to be coming out very soon, so look forward to that as well. But in the background today, you're actually going to be seeing gameplay footage from Alan Wake. Sorry, I'm a little slow on the uptake today. Going to be seeing some gameplay footage from Alan Wake because it's Halloween time. I actually played a little bit for our charity marathon stream, and it's a fun game, and it's basically what's installed on my machine, and I wanted to have something Halloween-ish for people to actually see. Speaking of Halloween, every Friday this month, we've actually been doing our charity marathon for Child's Play. Tonight is actually no different. Tonight I'm actually going to be playing Deadlight. I'll be starting off by playing Deadlight, and then later on in the evening I might be switching over to Resident Evils 1 or 2 or both, depending on how the evening kind of goes. So please swing by and check that out. I'm going to be streaming probably... Officially, I'll be starting the stream at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, but in reality, I might actually start the stream a little bit earlier than that. So swing by, hang out. If you guys want to talk with me, feel free to swing by to the chat. I'm more than happy to actually meet a lot of you guys. But today, I'm actually not going to be touching on any news. Today, I'm actually just going to be talking about user questions and hopefully satisfying a lot of people's curiosities about ElderGeek.com, some of our reviews, some of our review process, and then of course I had a user mail come in as well. User mail first, coming in from Nick. I have a question for you that came up from one of my younger gamers' urges to go back and play through a specific older game again, which happened to be Final Fantasy VIII. When I played through it as a young high school student, I loved the game to pieces, but now after playing through it again and again, and I'm in my mid-20s, I frankly found the very same game I loved to be utterly boring, repetitive, and very, very shallow. In fact, the characters were people I wanted to backhand rather than associate with. It led me to think about the notion that gamers will always say that older games are better. Is it really true? Were the older games actually better, or is this the statement of older games are better, just the rose-tinted goggles of children whose intelligence and appreciation of depth or complexity runs about as deep as a toddler's splash pool? What do you think? Keep up the good work, Nick. It's a little bit of both, I would say. I do feel that a lot of older games actually are better than some of their modern counterparts, but, at the same time, I think there's a lot of modern games that are actually awesome as well, and they should not be discounted just because there is an older iteration of it. Funny that you actually say Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII was definitely not one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. I played through it probably twice in my entire life. Not to go off on like a Final Fantasy VIII tangent, because that's not my intention here. But I don't know. For me, when I saw that, I saw the series going in a direction that I wasn't really kind of jazzed with. Plus, the draw system was never my favorite. That felt like grinding too much to me. But as far as like the whole rose-tinted glasses kind of concept goes, it doesn't hold true for all games. And a lot of people are actually going to be looking back as they get older at some of the games that they loved while they were growing up, and they might not love them as much as they did when they were younger. For instance, we actually just played Super Castlevania 4 for Game Club, and I got to admit, I still love that game. I still consider it one of the best games of all time. I still definitely rank it in the top 5 SNES games, and I easily rank it as some of the best, one of the best soundtracks of all time as well. And it will be hard to top that game, even though it was a launch title or close to a launch title for the SNES. I thought the gameplay was perfect. I thought the pacing was perfect. I thought the challenge was perfect. I thought the soundtrack was perfect. The only thing that I felt was a little bit off was that I thought that Dracula was a little bit of a pushover in it, but that's okay because there was actually a hard mode after you completed Dracula and you could beat the castle again. I even thought that the end credits were awesome. But there are other games that I loved while I was growing up, but now when I go back and I try to play them again, I can't do it anymore. And everybody's going to be sharpening their pitchforks about this one. I don't think that Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time held up that well against the test of time. I realize that it's like a ton of people's favorite game, and I'm not calling Zelda 64 a bad game in any stretch of the imagination. It's just that I felt that The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time were essentially the same game, but I felt that Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was better because, one, it was the original version of this concept, and two, I thought that it was a more refined experience. Like the graphically, it was a more refined experience. The 2D animation and everything that was so perfect in it that I think that you could play that now and still enjoy it just as much. But when you look at Zelda 64, that 3D animation just does not do it any justice. And I think that one of the biggest setbacks for Zelda 64 was that 3D animation. Everything else I thought was great. I thought the gameplay was great. I thought that the bosses were a ton of fun. I loved the exploration. I still remember actually exploring Hyrule the first time that I played that. But honestly, those early 3D graphics, in fact, that entire early 3D graphics generation, those super huge polys are going to be such a detriment to that entire generation. And as we get older and older, that is going to be holding them back even further and further. There's always going to be that generation of gamers where that is going to be their golden age of gaming, and they'll defend it to the death, and they would be right to do it. But so anyway, there's just an example, I guess I'm saying, of a game that you loved, but when you're looking back, isn't as great as you thought it was going to be. And there's going to be a ton of people that are listening to this comment that you were saying, like saying that Final Fantasy VIII was fantastic, and it was a great love story, and that the characters were actually really good, and it was nice to see a more human type of character as opposed to the more anime looking characters of Final Fantasy VII. I don't know. I'm just kind of coming up with arguments for it. So I kind of hope that answers your question. I hope that wasn't too beating around the bush. I do think, as a final notion, I will say that a lot of the older games are better than some of the modern games just because they were more true to a specific genre. And nowadays there's a big muddying of the waters of genres, where like an RPG will have elements of other genres. First person shooters now have RPG elements as opposed to just picking up a gun and shooting somebody or something. Same thing with racing games and action games. There's all these games have mixed elements from all genres to kind of, I don't even want to call it catering to multiple genres, but to just round out the gaming experience. And that's the natural evolution of things. And I think that a lot of older games are better in a sense that they typically stay true to specifically one genre, and I think that's the big selling point for those things. Sorry about the gigantic ramble. Hopefully I'll move on, and really hopefully that answers the questions. Had a couple of other questions that were actually showing up as just comments in yesterday's show, so I wanted to go through those. Will I be reviewing Deadlight? Yes, I will be reviewing Deadlight. I actually just picked up a copy of it. I didn't get it on Xbox 360 when it came out, and I just picked it up on Steam. So I've been kind of excited about this one. I haven't watched any video reviews for it or anything like that, but I'm going to stream it first for the charity marathon, and then I'll finish it, and then I'll write up a review and put out a review for it. So I'm guessing next week sometime we'll probably be seeing a Deadlight video review. That's also kind of competing with my time, though, for the next episode of 25 Games for My Son, and, of course, the preview of Primal Carnage. So just sit tight with that one, I suppose. There was actually a lot of comments about the people actually asking questions about the length of our videos, and that was based on me talking about how long our videos are. I do want to say this. When we look at our videos, or when we actually look at the demographics of our videos, the majority of our viewers, now I'm not saying that the majority of our commenters, okay, because there's a lot of people that watch our videos, but not all of them make comments on the videos. The majority of our viewers actually will stop watching after a certain amount of time. And I can actually see myself doing that as well with other video reviewers as well. There is an inherent danger of watching someone doing a video review that is over X minutes long. They run into making up points that aren't truly valid. They end up reiterating points that don't necessarily need to be said. And to be honest with you, once you go over a certain amount of time, there's a rule in writing that shorter writing is stronger writing, and I believe in that. Even though my Elder Speaks are a lot longer, these are more free flowing. These are non-edited basically. But I truly do believe that shorter writing is stronger writing. But I do also see the need for a longer review as well. And someone actually brought up the point of Total Biscuit's WTF series. And no, they're not reviews, and he actually says that they're not reviews. And I think he's right in saying that they're not reviews because he doesn't finish the game. What the WTF series is actually really wonderful for is he gives you gameplay footage unedited, and he actually goes through, and with his professional and very experienced opinion, he actually breaks down what he can see in what short amount of time with the game, what the game does well and what the game does wrong, which I think is awesome. I think that he has a really good eye for that kind of thing. We could start doing something like that in addition to our video reviews. I mean, I would love to hear what your opinions are on that, to do for certain video games almost like an extended look. I'm just spitballing here, throwing it out to you guys to see how you would like it. What would you think if we actually had our video review where we had the refined video review where it's written out and it's in this nice condensed format? I don't even want to call it condensed because some of our video reviews are still like 8 minutes long, which is kind of long. But we would have these well-polished video reviews where you could actually watch it, catch all the highs and lows and mids of a video game, and then our final say as to what we feel is the overall opinion of the game. We could still always do that, and we will always do that. But we could start doing something along the lines of what TB does. Kind of an extended look after the fact of after we do the video review, where we could break down showing you what the options are within a video game. And I don't want to say stream of conscious talking about it, but we could go into a little bit more depth with a longer non-written review. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you guys want that kind of thing? Do you think it would go over well? Would you watch it? Would you recommend it to your friends? So yeah, that's that. I mean, we could do a whole bunch of stuff with that. I mean, of course, we're always going to run the risk of people calling it a Let's Play, which I don't want to call it a Let's Play. I'm not a Let's Player. I don't have the personality for it. If you want to actually watch the Let's Plays, go and hang out with Shen and Michael on our Twitch TV channel. They have a much better personality for it. I'm not clever or that funny to be doing Let's Plays. It would just be me playing the game and going, huh, that was neat. So I could at least record some footage and then talk through it with you guys and hopefully create something that would be appealing for you. So I don't know. Like I said, let me know what you guys actually think about that. But anyway, that does it for me today. I hope you guys have all a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys all actually hang out with me tonight on the live stream. And hopefully I'll talk to you all on Monday.